Good morning, all. Today, our group will be discussing COVID and the effect it has had on Starbucks Coffee Canada. The world has virtually been at a standstill for many months because of COVID-19. It has taken over our lives, shifted our economy, society, and lifestyles. So much so, nothing feels like the same. For us, one question comes to mind. How has it affected the food service industry? It's no secret that the food service industry on a whole has been impacted by the virus control measures imposed by the government around the world, particularly here in Ontario. According to Statistics Canada, over 86% of food service establishments have experienced a decrease in revenue in 2020 compared to 60% of all businesses. A decline in revenue of 40% or more in 2020 was a reality for over 42% of food service industry establishments, 44% in Ontario alone. COVID has affected many small and large establishments in Canada. Starbucks specifically, the Seattle-based coffee house and roastery, was also greatly affected. In January 2021, the roastery announced that it would be closing 300 of its stores. These closures greatly affected the livelihood of many of Starbucks' baristas across Canada. As a group, we will be discussing this further, and we proceed.
As a result of COVID-19 pandemic, people had to stay home, keep social distancing, and reduce their social in-person activities. During this time, TikTok as a social media app for people to create content has gotten significant attention from the public. This app was first used for dancing trends, and then it started to grow in content making such as tips, lifestyles, life hacks. Starbucks was one of the companies that had a major impact through TikTok. People started to share secret recipes and secret customization of drinks and post content about it. This trend eventually spread through most of social media platforms, and as a result of being home and having no social interactions, people found this trend interesting because they had to try new things. However, if you look at the employees and barista side, these trends have been affecting them in a different way. They have had a difficult time during this time while getting orders with over 10 customizations and customers with low patience. Baristas mentioned that even sometimes customers complained about the taste of the secret drinks to baristas who have never been taught or trained to make those secret recipes. Also, it has been mentioned that during summer, the volume of customization drinks and order has been increasing significantly despite low staff rate at different locations. Also, the effect of customers' refusal to wear masks or pay with card in place of cash made things difficult for baristas and employees because it has direct effect on their health and safety during this time. To get a better vision and clear understanding of the concept, we interviewed baristas and asked their opinion regarding the following matters. As an experienced barista who has been working in Starbucks before the pandemic, what do you think has changed significantly about the Starbucks orders and customers' behavior during COVID with all the trends happening in online world? Do you think the majority of customers have been sticking with the protocols while entering the stores, like wearing masks, keeping distance, and their preferred pay method is cash or card? Now that weather is getting really nice in summer, did it affect customers' volume and orders? And do summer orders have been all based on drinks on the menu or customized drink based on the trends on the TikTok?
Yeah, so I think since the pandemic started, people have been spending a lot more time on their phones, a lot of time on TikTok especially, where they can see a lot of different customized drinks and people can like share different customized drinks. And because a lot of them look very nice aesthetically or just look very like delicious, people have been like coming to us with like different recipes on drinks that we are not like specifically trained to make. And it's been a lot harder, just like first of all being confused on what they want, and then because sometimes they don't even know what they want. And because sometimes it doesn't match exactly what it looks like in the video that they saw and like what they want, they do sometimes get angry. They're like, this isn't what I ordered, or they just get kind of frustrated with us, and it's literally not our fault. So I do think that the majority of customers have been following COVID protocols, but there is pretty often that one customer that will come in without a mask or will ask for all these things, and they'll say why can't we put in our own milk or put in our own sugar, and then they'll complain, they'll say the pandemic isn't real, and actually we get a lot of those customers. Yeah, so I think since summer started, we've gotten really longer lines. And because of that, customers are irritated. They have to wait longer, and I guess when they also come to the cash, they order more drinks than they were originally going to get, or they just decide that they want to get stuff just on a whim because they waited so long for it. And then once it even takes longer for us to make all these drinks, because again people are customizing more drinks these days, they get irritated again, and they just kind of lash out on us when our Starbucks especially is pretty small, and we can't accommodate to all these people.
So I think before the pandemic, things were a lot easier making orders for people. There was definitely a lot less customizations, and people were a lot more patient with us. I think now people are very cranky because it's been going on for a very long time, and people are seeing a lot of social media drinks that they want made that we have no idea how to make actually. So things were definitely easier before the pandemic. Customers have been okay with sticking to protocols, but we are a very small store, so customers are okay with the protocols and everything going around COVID, but they definitely get impatient when there's a lot of people, and I can definitely see that there's not a lot of social distancing happening when people are waiting for their drinks. Also, there's a lot of people that walk around with their nose sticking out of their mask, or they pull their mask down when they're trying to order with us. So it's not the greatest, but I think it's not the worst either.
So firstly, let's talk about how COVID has affected Starbucks in general. As a multinational chain of coffee houses, Starbucks has to face many difficulties due to the pandemic. According to the CTV News, by the end of March 2021, Starbucks will complete the closure of up to 300 stores in Canada. Even in places where Starbucks has reopened stores, customers may not feel comfortable sitting inside to enjoy a cup of coffee. To cope with this special situation, the company has announced the acceleration of its 5-year transformation strategy and began to set up pickup-only locations before the pandemic. In addition, due to temporary closures, restricted sales channels, shortened operating hours, and severely reduced customer traffic, Starbucks has cost about $950 million. This bar chart from Statista shows the revenue of Starbucks from 2009 to 2021. It is not hard to notice that there has been an increase of revenue for each year until 2019, and a big drop in 2020. In 2021, there is a slight rise of revenue in Q2 compared to previous year. Hopefully, with the new strategy and the help of vaccination this year, Starbucks can have a total increase by the end of year.
In conclusion, the COVID-19 pandemic has caused chaos in our livelihood and communities, particularly in the food service industry such as Starbucks. The pandemic had an impact not just on the company but also on the employees. On the video, we saw how the pandemic had a significant influence on the workers as well as their unpleasant experiences from the customers. Moreover, Starbucks revenue dropped as a result of the closures and reduced operations. And to cope up with the current situation, Starbucks announced the acceleration of its 5-year transformation strategy, which includes shifting towards opening more drive-through locations in response to changing consumer behavior. And with their contingency plan in response to COVID-19, I am very optimistic that Starbucks will be able to recover, especially now that the majority of Canadians have been vaccinated. I hope you learned something from our presentation. Thank you guys.